next two games on this Monday night. Game one will be between the More Dudes and the Edge, both sides getting ready to go. For what might be the first time this season, both sides ready to go before these. It'll be Sam Mutz versus Chris Lawrence in the main circle for the opening draw when we get underway in a few moments here. Both officials set and ready to go now. Same with the starting lineups for both sides. The More Dudes will come in with a slightly short bench. Definitely shorter than usual, but have a single-digit number of players. Running clock to begin this first period, and we're underway in the early game of Monday night. Opening draw won by Chris Lawrence in the Edge. Lawrence to the nearest circle. His first shot attempt is on goal, but read well and saved easily by Billy Hauser, wearing number 6. He gets to start in goal for the More Dudes. After his save, the team in maroon, light blue, and white in the part of the More Dudes is Sam Mutz makes his first pass. Kanori Raz now. To the middle, Dalton Hoffman. Hoffman to the top, and they score. Hoffman to Robert McClure for goal number 1 on this Monday night. And McClure makes it 1-0, 45 seconds in. Eric Young gets to start in net opposite McClure, wearing number 38 for the Edge. So he allows the goal on his first chance of a save. The More Dudes back the other way. The turnover, it's Wade Mutz to the middle. Quick shot, and that one found iron. It bounces away from Young, still losing the outskirts of the crease, and now Young's back on it. Young directing traffic, looking for a help, try to go to his man on the near side. That being Todd Ryan, which goes in and out of his stick. Back to the More Dudes to get a shot attempt on goal, but it's again read well by Young, who now has the second save. Joseph Hasdorn across mid-rink. Hasdorn went up the floor, 2 foils. Back to Hasdorn, winds and fires. A shot went through the legs of Hauser, off the post, swatted at, and again kept out by Hauser. So the More Dudes keep it 1-0. Good defense there. And a great save made by Hauser. Maybe got a little bit lucky with the iron. Another shot. Another one sent wide by the More Dudes. 4 in the area again. Julian Friedman. A 1 bounce pass to his teammate Pat Gillespie. Gillespie over the blue line, lost the ball. And now Gillespie boxed out, and the More Dudes have it. 2 defenders on Gillespie there. Kanari Raz now across mid-rink. Drops to Hoffman. Hoffman, pump fake, now drives in. Hoffman is shot. Save Young. The rebound almost fell in the back of the net, but Young keeps it out. Brian Andrews now through the main circle for the Edge. Andrews a 1-hop shot sent wide, deflected off the stick of the More Dude. Played off their bench by Wade Mutz. Mutz to Carter Begley, and Begley will see his shot wind up out of play. Last touch by the goaltender Young, until be brought back in by the More Dudes. Sam Mutz now to Hoffman. Hoffman in the near circle. Hoffman driving in. A shot turned away by Young. Rebound played nearly off the ceiling by the Edge, and they had a chance at a breakaway. As getting loose was Kyle Burrell. But instead the pace is slowed down. Friedman will take the pass in the mid-range. Friedman to Curtis Renard. To Voiles. And the near circle. Voiles looking for Renard again, but that pass is sent wide. And replayed off the backboards by Hauser. Mordu's up the floor the other way. Hoffman by the blue line. Underhand pass forward, looking for Murph Butler, and he has him. Or correction, looking for Rosnow, he had him. Rosnow a shot, which whistled off the pads of Young. Rebound came to Ben Minardi. Minardi, another shot, another save. And we'll be back to edge possession as the Mordu's come up empty on there as their most recent try. Kyle Burrow around mid-range. Burrow, pump fakes around the blue line, now winds and fires up the face mask of Billy Hauser. Rebound back out to the edge, now still contested and runs back in the stick of the Mordu's. Up the floor, Minardi. Minardi gives to Mutz. Now Evan Scott, newcomer to the floor, shot saved Young. Second chance, they score. 2-0 Mordu's off the rebound. Aaron Grill gets his first goal of the game, and Grill and McClure will make it 2-0. Off the draw, Lawrence is tripped up. He's back to his feet of the edge ball. A violation called against the Mordu's. Edge ball, Kyle Burrow around the blue line. Burrow in deep, shot fired high and wide by Gillespie. And the rebound is all the way back down to Young. Shot clock more than halfway expired. Young moves to Hasdorn. Now Hasdorn from long range off the pad and face mask of Young. Or pardon me, of Hauser. And now the Mordu's the other way off the save. There's Begley. Evan Scott at the blue line. Scott to Minardi. Minardi behind the net, lost the ball. Still swatted at. And remaining loose by the boards, picked up by the Mordu's. Diving in, a shot blocked. And it's a shot clock violation against the Mordu's. And Carter Begley may have been tripped up driving in, no call. And the short-handed Mordu's bench disagreed. But even that still may have been outnumbered by the two officials. Braden Colchiano by the blue line. Colchiano gets a pick set, pass to the middle, and now spinning out of traffic is Burrell. Burrell looking for Colchiano again. That pass sent high and into the Mordu's bench. Grill up the floor, and another shot sent wide. Again, Begley taking it. Rebound came out to Wade Mutz. Mutz to the middle. Pump fake. And the spin by McClure. McClure a shot off the boards behind Young. Rebound again, Minardi a shot again wide as Wade Mutz is back on it. Beneath the shot clock this time, Mutz thought about going over the top and instead stepped in the paint. Crease violation against Mutz and the Mordu's. Edge are back on it. Looks like 3 men now on the Mordu's bench. Colchiano from the far circle. Colchiano behind the net. One bounce pass. It winds up wide. Bernard in between the circles. Had a pass to him go over his stick. Todd Ryan has it. Ryan fought for one and took a wayward shot attempt on net. It sent all the way down wide. And shot clock violation against the Edge. Their first of the game. More dudes are back on it. Hoffman in the near portion of the blue line, the near circle. Hoffman. Shot, save. Rebound chased down the corner. Still being swatted at by both sides. Neither side can seem to get on it. An Edge player goes down. That's Todd Ryan. Hit, as it should be. Another shot, one hopper off the pad of Young and ushered into the corner. Sam Mutz still has it in the corner. Mutz to Voiles. Now Begley, a shot turned away. Young makes a save. Rebound comes out to Spencer Homan. Homan to Burrell. Burrell the return feed, and Burrell scores. Kyle Burrell on the return feed from the top of the key. Around the main circle, it's Joseph Hasdorn on the assist, and it's now 2-1 as the Edge cut the Mordu lead in half. Ensuing face-off won by the Mordus. Wade Mutz around the blue line. Mutz centering feed. Scott shot, and he scored. It somehow sneaks in, and it went off the pad of Young, off the base of the post, and barely crept into the net before popping out a second later. But regardless, it is now 3-1 as Evan Scott gets his first of the game. Jonathan Miller contesting for the ball off the draw, but more dudes will have it. Miller to the floor. Now to Rosnow. Rosnow. Out wide to Begley. And Begley, a shot attempt sent wide off the glass. Rebound came back out to the edge. Friedman in the middle, a shot deflected and ushered wide. Voiles brings it in. Voiles to the finish. To finish in the near circle, a shot sent high. It's Calciano had a chance at it. Rebounds back out to Lawrence, who wound and fired and took a shot that was saved by Hauser. Rebounds back to the edge, though, and they have a fresh set of 30 seconds. Howard fought contest for the ball in the corner. And now wayward pass in the middle, taken away by Evan Scott. Scott behind the back look for Mutz, and he scores. And correction, Scott to Carter Begley. Number 31, Begley from the far corner in front of the Mark Squillo sign. Makes it 4-1. Next face-off won by the Mordus. Evan Scott scoops up to the ground ball. Scott to Ethan Kraus. And Kraus tried to give it right back as Scott hit into the boards. Now the Edge playing great defense here. Pressuring out Samuel Beamer. Minardi. A driving chance on net, but lost the ball out of play. Violation against the Mordu to the Edge ball around mid-rank. Curtis Renard. In deep, looking for Friedman, couldn't quite get it to him. And now Friedman lost it. The other way come the Mordus. 2-on-1 and turned away. Scooping up will be Young. Now his drop-off pass is sent all the way back into the corner. Off to the left side to Billy Hauser. Under 90 seconds to play in this opening period. 4-1 lead for the Mordudes. McClure. Hoffman driving, Hoffman shooting and scoring. As number 55 got his first goal of the game, it's now 5-1 Mordudes. .45 seconds to go in this opening period. The Edge trying to stay within 4, maybe cut the lead to 3 in the dying seconds. It'll be Mordude ball off the draw. Behind the back look by Scott. Sends one wide. Minardi a chance at it, turned away, and Andrews will play it off the glass. Shot clock disabled. Ryan Andrews around the blue line. Now across mid-rank. Andrews with the finish in the main circle. 15-14 ticking off the game clock to finish in the near circle this time, trying to create space. Someone lost the head of their stick. At the finish, it's a pick set, and he scores! Just behind the random stick head in the middle of the floor. And it's goal number 2 of the opening period for the Edge. 5-2, the Mordude lead of the first 15 minutes. Now we'll see how long it lasts. So it's 5-2 Mordudes over the first 15 minutes of play. 30 more to come in this early game. One goaltender change between periods, and that is Victoria Sloan coming in for Eric Young in the Edge net. Billy Hauser will remain in net for the Mordudes. And more dudes have populated on that side of the bench, about now 12 to 13 guys. So more than enough for the game to get underway without being called less than full strength. Mordudes win the opening draw in the second period. Aaron Grill in the far circle, a shot blocked and sent all the way back across mid-ring. Now brought back in Begley. to Mutz. Shot, save by Sloan. Andrews gets up the rebound. Andrews to Lawrence in the middle. Lawrence bobbling it, got pushed. And that's going to be a violation against the Edge for stepping back in the crease. And it's back to Moody ball in their offensive zone. Carter Begley, Ethan Krause. Krause, an off-speed shot, eaten up by Sloan, and the rebound sent way wide into the corner. And hand goes up, delayed call. And this one appears to be against the Edge. It'll be our first penalty of the game, about 16 and a half minutes in. So 2-minute minor penalty goes against number 55, Chris Lawrence of the Edge. Man up for the next 2 minutes for the Moore Dudes, but the penalty was not added to the scoreboard. Game clock currently stopped at 13:16. So it looks like the penalty will be manually kept by the two officials on the floor. Moody's moving the ball around. Carter Begley between the circles. Begley, a shot, they score. And Begley from between the circles beats Sloan just as the officials were giving the final time, where we'll be back to full strength. And it's now 6-2 Moore Dudes as he has a second. Off the draw, ball still contested over, and Hoffman will come away with it. Hoffman dips down into the nearer circle. Underhand toss forward to the floor. Back for Rockowitz. Rockowitz a shot, saves Sloan. Rebound comes out to Friedman. Friedman up the floor. That was number 15, Joseph Hasdorn. Had the ball knocked loose from his stick. Shot clock down to 15. Curtis Renard couldn't bring in the pass. It'll ricochet off the backboards and back to Moore ball. Finally getting the ball across the floor just in time. It was Hoffman. Now Rosnow diving in. Rosnow over the top, he scored. And Kenari Rosnow has his first goal of the game. The Moore Dudes 7th is 7-2. Face-off still fought for, drifting closer to Billy Hauser's net, and Billy Hauser will be the first player to make clean possession of it. That being the Moore Dude goalkeeper. Up the other way come the Moore Dudes. Shot on goal, shoulder pad saves Sloan. Rebound still loose, and Max Puccini pushed it into the stick of Sloan to get the Edge clean possession. Edge ball around the main circle. DeFinis now into the bottom near circle. DeFinis knocked the ball loose from Mordu. And it's now back to Edge possession. Shot clock dipping down though. Burrows pass sent wide. Whipped on goal by the Mordudes. Rebound is brought back in by Murph Butler right in front of the broadcast booth. Butler, back, shot sent wide. The rebound is off the poles. And support beams rest just next to I-95, closer to the ceiling. Edge ball, Hasdorn will start with it by the capital sign at mid-rank. To Finesse. To Finesse for Call. James Call now lost the ball. Up the other way is Stylau, and his shot is wide. Noah France brings it in. France to Scott. Back to Friend, a shot, but tried to go 5-hole, but turned away by Sloan. Wade Mutz now again in the main circle, will try again. Hoffman, pump fakes, now forced to the corner, goes underneath the net. Sorry, behind the net, and a shot they score, Rotkowitz. And they say good goal. The penalty is waved off. It was supposed to be a delayed call against the Edge. Regardless, it's Tyler Rotkowitz getting his first of the game. It's now 8-2 Mordudes. Oh, correction. The goal is not good. It's a penalty against the Mordudes. So it's a 2-minute minor for holding the stick against Hoffman of the Mordudes. It's back to Mordude ball within moments, though, as Noah France. Dish to Minardi. Now Aaron Grill around the top. Grill calling for it, gets the pass back. Grill to the main circle. Minardi a shot, set wide. Rebound is back into the stick of Butler. Shot clock to 5 to 4. Butler's shot was deflected. Shot clock to 1. Mutz last second, didn't get it off. Edge ball headed the other way, but only 1:15 now to work with. Bernard a shot. And deflected. It is edge ball off the stick of a Mordu out of play. Penalty now halfway expired. The Mordudes are 1 for 1 on man-ups. This is the first time the Edge have been a man-up in the game. 50 seconds to play as Renard will track the ball in. Renard further in, his shot deflected high by Hauser. And it'll go off the back netting, but last touch Hauser, so it's edge ball. Another shot deflected off Hauser. That came from Andrews in the other corner. This one to Hauser's right. Fresh out of 30 seconds. Renard in front. Pass goes in and out of his stick. Almost had it. Swatted at by another Edge player and scooped up by Murph Butler. Butler looking for space. Underhand pass. And now dropped. 3-on-1 the other way. Here come the Edge. And shooting the ball was number 18, Pat Gillespie. Penalties expired. The Edge are now 0 for 1 on man ups. And back the other way as it gets to full strength. The Mordudes score, and it's Rob McClure for the second time today. McClure gets his second, and it's now 8-2 Mordudes with under 6 to play in the second period. Off the draw, Lawrence fighting for the face-off. On the Edge side, and he'll win that battle. Lawrence rewarded with a pass, but it goes between his legs. Still fighting for the loose ball. And picked up, taken away by Friedman, and he's forced into the corner. Friedman went upstairs and a little bit too high for Gillespie, who couldn't bring it in. It's Mordew ball with 5:10 and ticking to go in the second period. Play resumes as Hoffman was hovering around the midline. He goes to Krause. Krause stutter steps and tried to create space. Had some for a moment, but it's quickly closed up. Krause to Rotkowitz a shot, and it rocketed off the pad of Sloan. Down comes back to Spencer Homan. Now Homan further up the floor. It's Todd Ryan. Here's Hasdorn. Hasdorn, Lawrence, a shot, save Hauser. Took a weird hop closer toward the net, but Hauser is back on it. 4:14 to play in the second. Still more to the ball. Begley. Butler, scooped up by Sloan. Now unable to be scooped up as he went a little bit too far out of the crease. And quickly back to edge ball with no harm done, but Rob McClure was in the area looking for a hat trick in the first 2 periods. Talkiana sends his pass, and his shot is eaten up by Hauser. Was caught in the pads for a moment. Led to finish, robbed of his second. Minority spinning free. Minority into the far corner, diving in front, turned away by Sloan. He stayed out of the crease. Mordew will get the ball in the corner. Hoffman. The corner behind the back look, and Miller will be the last person to touch it before the shot clock violation is called against the Mordews. Edge ball yet again. Gillespie in the main circle. Gillespie to the top, a shot, and kept out as Julian Friedman was inches away from his first goal of the game, but Billy Hauser made the save on him. 2:40 to go, a pass sent wide into the corner. Lawrence fighting for it, he couldn't bring it in, and it's the Edge who will come away with it instead. Let's just say regardless, those Friedman and Lawrence, members of the Edge. Friedman, though, lost the ball. The shot clock is already halfway expired as the Edge finally get across the middle of the floor. Gillespie to the corner, looking for Voiles in the middle. He couldn't bring it in. Scooped up by the Mordews, and then the Mordews back the other way. Quick pass, and it's sent wide under the stick of Rosnow. Now behind the net of Sloan with 2 to go in the second period. Rosnow, Hoffman. Hoffman fired a shot, saved by Sloan. Rebound comes back out to Hoffman in between the mid line and that blue line. Another shot sent wide of Sloan. Scott. Hoffman again, and now a helmet comes off. Some pushing and shoving after the play. And that was way behind the play. We'll see what penalties get issued here as the helmet got knocked off of Michael Plastino's head. 17 on the Edge. Plastino pleading his case. See, obviously took offense to that. We'll see what the final rulings are. So it'll be an 8-2 Mordew lead. A 2-minute penalty will be issued to both teams. A 2-minute minor for roughing. It's against Kenari Rosna, number 67 of the Mordudes, and as expected, Michael Plastino, number 17 of the Edge. 14 seconds and 13, and now a timeout called by the Mordudes. The clock will take a few extra seconds off. 11.8 is what it'll read. 8-2 lead for the Mordudes, and they'll have a chance to make it 9 before the end of the second period. Victoria Slim will remain the Edge representative in net for this final shot attempt. It appears in the second period. Subbing off is Hauser, who hustles to the sideline. 5 seconds to go. 4. Butler from the top sends one wide, and all of the effort from Hauser will come up empty as the rebound is all the way back towards his net and sent wide. So 8-2 to score over the first 30 minutes of play. 15 more to come from Rizzo Rink. The Edge have their work cut out for them. Face-off violation against the Moore Dudes. It'll be edge ball. Chris Lawrence has it. Lawrence, a wayward pass off the draw. Back to the Moore Dudes, and back the other way they come. Canary Roz now goes into the corner by the Blue Cross sign. I'll drop it off for Mutz, it appears. He gives Minardi. Minardi, a shot between the legs, they score, and it's now 11-4 Moore Dudes, as Minardi will get the assist. Waiting to see who scored the goal. And it'll be number 10, Sam Mutz, getting his first goal of the game. It's now 11-4, 7-goal lead for the Moore Dudes. It ties the game high. Lawrence lofts the ball in midair, brought in by Mutz. Mutz, Butler between the circles. Butler a shot, he scores. And Murph Butler's on the board for the first time. Now 12-4 and a new game high, an 8-goal lead for the Moore Dudes. Six and a half to play in regulation time, and most likely the game as the Moore Dudes hold a 12-4, 8-goal lead against the Edge. Evan Scott with a pass, a shot, they score again. And 3 of the last 4 shots taken by the Moore Dudes have wound up in the back of the net. As this one put back in by Ben Minardi. And Minardi will get his second of the day. So 3 goals in 90 seconds for the Moore Dudes to more than likely put this game on ice. 13-4 now the score. Ethan Krause will sub on behind the play, and he'll get the pass. Krause around the blue line. Begley back to the middle, may have been looking for Krause, but winds up in a stick of Minardi. Contested though. Minardi back to the middle, cuts to the defense, and fires wide. Shot clock to 4, to 3. Evan Scott on goal, saved by Young. Rebound is scooped up by the Moore Dudes, but only whipped on goal off speed and scooped up by Young and the Edge. Timeout called by the Edge. It's their first of the game. 5:12 to play in the third period. Timeout Edge, 13-4 the score in favor of the Moore Dudes. Clock running now with 5:05 to play in the third period. It'll be edge ball, and beginning with it, Kyle Burrell in the main circle. Burrell, Hagedorn, makes a man miss, now pressured into the corner below the shot clock, pardon me, took a shot. Eric Young swatted at it. Burrell has it, shot clock to 4. Burrell wound up fired, and it's off the boards. Back to the Moore Dudes. Samuel Beamer across the blue line. Beamer underneath shot, and they score. Beamer the assist. And the goal will be scored by number 54 on the Moore Dudes, who I do not have on my roster for today's game. But it is a 14-4 lead for the Moore Dudes, as 54 gets his first. Face-off won by the Edge off the draw. Gillespie looking for Lawrence. Couldn't bring it in cleanly. Lawrence in the near circle, jumps and fires. There's a foot save made by Hauser. Now off the pass, the Moore use the 3-on-1, and they score on their first look. And it's Jonathan Miller who will make it 15-4. Three to go in the third period. 15-4 lead for the Moore Dudes. Sam Mutz will take control of the draw. Up the floor, McClure. Gives to Rosnow. Rosnow is shot, sent wide, and the rebound is off Lou Galdo's Hall of Fame banner. 2020 inductee, as it says there. Edge the other way. Andrews with possession to the middle, looking for Lawrence. He got it, sorry, wide, and by the way, it was Friedman taking the shot. Wide nonetheless. And back the other way are the Moore Dudes who score. And it's Carter Begley, who will now have his own hat trick. It's his third of the day, and 16-4. Seven goals in a row scored by the Moore Dudes in this third period. They've put 8 total on the board in the frame. Kraus wins the draw. Kraus by his man, and shot saved by Young. Rebound went deflected up high. Underneath, between the legs, shot again. This one came from Jonathan Miller. That one's again saved by Young. Under 90 seconds to play in regulation time, but the Moore Dudes get at least one more on the board before the clock expires. As it's now 17-4. Goal is scored by Tyler Rockowitz. It is his second of the day. Or correction, first of the day. His first got waved off. .47, 46 seconds ticking off the game clock in this third period. 17-4. The Moore Dudes will cruise to victory. One last chance for the Edge to make the scoreboard look more appealing. Friedman spins away from a defender, trying to track one down. He could not. Ball is still loose, picked up by the Moore Dudes. Shot clock no longer a factor. And it'll be Moore Dude ball as they will just more than likely hold on to it and close out the final few seconds. So 17-4, the Moore Dudes lead. It appears that will be the final score. Billy Hauser, a mini celebration. Max Polcini playing some light defense at the very end. And at the final horn. 17-4, the final score over 45 minutes of game action in the early game on this Monday night. We have one more coming to you, and it's a rivalry matchup between the Black Storm and the Outlaws. 17-4, your final in Game 1. We'll see you for Game 2 in just a few minutes. Hello everyone, and welcome to Rizzo Rink for the late game on this Monday night doubleheader. This one, a rivalry matchup a few years in the making as the Outlaws take on the Black Storm for their first broadcasted matchup of this 2025 campaign. Off the draw, it was briefly an outlaw ball, but never got a clean shot on goal, so the Storm come away with it. And running the fresh possession, Ryan Cook, number 33 for the Storm. Cook to James Lindsay. Lindsay in front. That one rattled off the post, sent wide, and played off the backboards. Now Lindsay again behind the net, underneath the shot clock. Filters to Quinn. Quinn is shot, sent wide. Rebound played off the boards again. And now back to the middle, a shot they score. It's number 7, Nick Fox of the Black Storm, who will get the first goal of the game. And it's now 1-0 Storm in the opening minute. Off the ensuing faceoff, it's back to Black Storm ball. Again, scoring the opening goal, number 7, Nick Fox. As per usual, getting on the scoreboard fairly early. James Lindsay between the blue line and the main circle. Lindsay drops for Drew Brady. Brady on the outskirts of the net, and the shot deflected high and wide off the top boards and out of play. Again, briefly outlaw ball, but the Black Storm are dominating time possession early on as the Outlaws cannot get a clean possession. Another shot again taken and sent wide. The rebound will be played off the boards by Stephen McLaughlin. McLaughlin sets Eric Russo. Russo behind the back look is played off the glass by Posadi. Posadi in front, and Posadi scores. 2-0 Storm. Nick Fox and Sergio Posadi strike back to back. Off the draw, it's Storm ball. Nick Fox again shoots and he scores. 3 goals in a row for Nick Fox. And it's now, 2 goals in the first 3 for Nick Fox. 3 goals in a row for the Storm. And it's now 3-0. So Matt Kuhn struggling early in net for the Outlaws, allowing 3 goals in the first 3.5 minutes. 3-0. The score currently sits in favor of the Storm. Outlaws, though, trying to get some momentum right back. Joe Stainer from the top. Stainer looking for Brandon Hardison, but Hardison couldn't bring it in. Andrew Sloan got a touch and net for the Black Storm. Another shot sent wide. Save made by Kuhn. And slipping down in front of the net was John Saunders, who will now sub off. Saunders and Nick Fox were in a 2-on-none. But Matt Kuhn wins the battle there, an impressive win. It's back to outlaw ball out by the June sign. And Outlaw is spinning around, firing a shot, sent wide of Sloan. Rebound is played off the boards by Quinn. Quinn to Nick Fox. Fox wants an early hat trick. He didn't quite get there. And a member of the Storm stepped in the crease. It was probably Fox, but couldn't quite see from my vantage point. Outlaw ball, though, about 4:45 gone in this opening period. Hardison sees the pass go over his head. Rebound's played off the boards and dying out in the middle of the floor. Passati will recover it across mid-ring. Now ends up in the stick of Lindsay. Lindsay in the nearer circle. Lindsay to the middle, and the knockdown was McLaughlin. Passati with one on goal, and that one sent wide. The rebound's all the way back down towards Sloan. Sloan will scoop it up. Shot clock to 10. The Storm with the dying seconds left to work with. Russo. Shot. Saved by Matt Kuhn. Sent wide. It'll be ruled Storm ball off the deflection. Passati around the far circle. Passati has Lindsay up top, decides not to go there, goes to Russo instead, behind the back shot, saved by Matt Kuhn, and a great adjustment by the Outlaw goaltender to read the behind the back look. And he dishes it off for Krasuski. To Crispino. Stainer. Stainer around the top, and his shot will end up in the back of the net as Stainer dished the pass in the last second to Malesio. It was a scramble for the ball, and Malesio gets the last touch. It falls in the back of the net, and it's now 3-1 Storm. With the Outlaws on the board, they cut the lead down to 2. Passati plays it off the boards. Couldn't bring it in on the second chance, though. Sean Quinn instead does the duty. Quinn, Passati in the far corner. Back to Quinn in the middle between the circles. Now backing up near us, looking for Lindsay, and is sent wide. Played off the glass. Scooped up by Caden Hawk. Hawk in the main circle. And Hawk gives for Swiker, who will sub off. Swiker to Jarrett Loma. Loma underneath. No rolling shot on goal is past Sloan and off the back wall and out of play. Last touch by the Outlaws. Passati midway through this first period. Driving in, and it's ushered away by Stainer. Partnered by Downey. And now a shot from Quinn. Saved by Matt Kuhn. Hardison's back on it. Hardison pressured up against the boards. Whipped on a goal from the top of the blue line. George Downey makes it 3-2. And you rarely see someone try Andrew Sloan from that distance, but Downey wins the battle this time out, and it's 3-2. Will Mayen wins the draw. Mayen. A quick tic-tac-toe pass as Hardison tried to find Stainer in front of the net. Couldn't quite make the last piece of the puzzle work. And now playing it off the deflection are the Storm. Nick Fox the other way. Fox makes a man miss. In front, shot deflected wide. And the rebound played off the boards by the Crispino. The Crispino up the floor. Stainer directing traffic, looking for Downey. Gets him. Downey shoots and scores. Andrew Sloan caught off balance. And George Downey has scored back-to-back. It's a tie game yet again. Off the draw for the Storm. Lindsay gets by a man, shoots and scores. And a back and forth first period continues. James Lindsay scores the 7th goal in the frame, the 4th for the Storm. It's now 4-3 with the clock running. Clock running down below 5 minutes now to play in this first period. Off the draw violation called against the Outlaws, so it's Storm ball. McLaughlin takes it for the Storm. Now Quinn between the blue line and the near circle. Sean Quinn dishes. Lindsay gets crushed. Lindsay knocked down, lost the ball. Caden Hawk has it. The correct progression is Brady Hawk. Long hair confused me. But the Hawk brothers look alike, and this one's Brady giving it out to Downey. Downey sees Jarrett Loma sub on. Downey has 2 already in the frame. Gives for Malesio. Malesio didn't have his stick, though. And Downey seems to have connected the last piece of his puzzle as realizing Malesio was that open because he didn't have his stick. And that would make sense. Stick hurled over to the Outlaw bench. Ryan Cook in the near circle. Cook ushered into the corner. Cook out across. Scott Jackson. Back to Nick Fox. Fox, shot, scores! A first period hat trick for Nick Fox. And with 3:36 to play in the first, it's now 5-3 Storm. Off the draw, Will Mayen fighting forward in space, gets a shot, saved by Sloan. Knocked down with Saunders by Mayen, a good hit laid down by him. Saunders down again. Jarrett Loma fighting for the Outlaws. He's tripped up, knocked another man down with him, that's Nick Fox. And everyone falling to the floor, and that haywire possession. Coming out of it with the ball, though, are the Outlaws, and maybe Bittenbender up the floor. Gives to Loma. Loma lost the ball, and now Nick Fox has it. Fox with speed. Fox pushed wide. Now in toward the net. Fox on the floor. So is the ball. And picked up by Hawk. This one's Caden Hawk. Hawk shot off the iron and off the back netting behind Sloan. Out of play. Last touch by the Outlaws. Brady Cook has it by the Thomas Taylor side. Cook, fake to Jackson, goes to Basadi, and a save made by Matt Kuhn. Bittenbender takes the dish from Kuhn. Now Malesio trying to spin around his man. Malesio is below the net, behind the back hook. It rattled in and out and stayed out. The net off its posts. Andrew Slynn will fix it. And now meandering about for the Storm, Eric Russo. He'll find a trade partner in Nick Fox. At the top of the near circle, Fox looking for space, gets by a man. Fox a shot, foot save made by Matt Kuhn, and the rebound is waved off. And some extracurricular activity after the play. Nothing too severe, but it's a little bit of a tie-up. It seems all is well. Eric Russo and James DeCrispino both ushered off. So 2-minute minors issued to both the Crispino and Russo. To Crispino, the outlaw. The Storm one last chance. Nick Fox cashes in. A 4-goal period for Nick Fox to begin this game. And it's a 6-3 Black Storm lead over the first 15. 15 down and 30 more to come from Rizzo Rink. It is a 6-3 Storm lead, and Nick Fox has 4. (6-3) the score over the first 15 minutes of play at Rizzo Rink. 30 more to come over the second and third frames. It'll be 5-on-4 in favor of the Outlaws. It was briefly 4-on-4 to end that first period, but Nick Fox's 4th goal of the period made it a 6-3 lead for the Storm and a 5-on-4 man advantage. Never mind, I was speaking from somewhere else. It'll remain 4-on-4. Downey subs on as the Outlaws now change sides, and Downey right off the bench, he scores. It's the George Downey versus Nick Fox show. It's 6-4 on the scoreboard, but 4-3 in that matchup as Downey has a hat trick. Just 20 or so seconds into the second period, it's 6-4. It'll remain 4-on-4 for the next 60 seconds. Mayen pushed off the draw. Out, a Black Storm player lost his stick, that being Colin Bozak. He brought it back in now. Back to Outlaw ball. Brendan Hardison drops it off. His shot is eaten up by the new Black Storm goalkeeper in Blake Beal. Nick Fox around the blue line. Dishes for Ryan Cook. Cook between the circles. Directing traffic. Cook, shot clock to 4-3. Pass to the middle. Nick Fox couldn't bring it in. It's a violation against the Storm. Outlaw ball. Downey has it. Downey looking for Malesio. Malesio lost it. Portnoy played off the boards. Directing traffic gives to Malesio right in front. 1-on-none, and Malesio couldn't slam the door. Beal turned him away. Storm come up the other way. Ryan Cook off the floor. Cook to Russo, and a shot sent wide. Now Russo will scoop up his own rebound off the boards. Russo looking for Nick Fox, intercepted. Back the other way come the Outlaws. In front, Krasuski, a shot, saved by Beal. And Beal will bounce back on it. Posadi will take it away. Around the blue line, Posadi to Lindsay between the circles. Lindsay, Nick Fox wants his fifth, and it was inches from it. And the rebound will go off the top of the glass, out of play. Now to Crispino, fighting for the ball, back the other way for the Outlaws. He'll slow his pace. To Crispino, Stainer behind the back look, and contested and shot, they score. Back to back for the Outlaws, and this one put in by Dylan Portnoy. It's 6-5. $11:27 to play in the second now. 6-5 lead for the Storm. But back-to-back scored by Downey and Portnoy of the Outlaws. Portnoy wants his second, fired it just wide to the left, off the backboards. Rebound is all the way back down to Matt Kuhn. Kuhn gave to Bittenbender, and now Bittenbender looking for some help around the blue line. To the middle for Jarrett Loma, who couldn't bring it in. Lindsay the other way to Saunders, who's now one-on-one with Bittenbender. And Bittenbender wins that duel with the help of Matt Kuhn on the save. Krasuski making his way up the floor. Malesio, one hop shot, they score. Philip Malesio makes it 6-6, and he gets his second of the day. So each side has scored 3 in a row, back-to-back times. The Black Storm opened the scoring to make it 3-0. The Outlaws tied the game at 3, and then it was 6-3 and 6-6. Here it is again. And if history repeats itself for a third time, it would mean the Storm will have their turn to score 3 straight. Outlaws, something to say about it, though. Jarrett Loma in front, centering feed, knocked away. Crispino had a chance at it, but couldn't cash in. Outlaw ball in the corner. Portnoy behind the net. Portnoy to the top, driving in, off the pad, off the iron. It should have been blown dead, but maybe not. It'll be Storm ball regardless, though. And John Saunders, his first pass, going to Hamilton. Now to Ryan Cook, whipped on goal wide. Rebound up in the air. McLaughlin had a chance at it. Stainer behind the back look. He gets to the Caden Hawk. Hawk has a chance, and Hawk sends one wide. Score remains 6-6 as the shot was deflected way out of play over the Outlaw bench. Ryan Cook between the circles, and the shot is sent wide, tipped by Matt Kuhn, who got just enough of it to deflect it. Delayed call will go against the Outlaws. A chance for a 6-on-5 goal here. Save made Matt Kuhn, and play blown dead as Blake Beal will be sent back into his own net. And it may not seem like a lot of effort, but on a hot night like this, you never want to be the goalie that rushes off just to go right back in. An illegal sub will go against the Outlaw bench. So 5-on-4 for the next 2 minutes of play for the Black Storm. That'll take us across the midway point of this game. Nick Fox from just inside the blue line. Posadi fires and scores. 12 seconds into the man up for the Black Storm, and they're back up on top, 7-6. Posadi will get his second. That ends about a 7-minute long scoreless drought for the Storm, which may not seem like a lot, but considering that they had a 6-goal first period. An impressive outing by the Outlaw defense to start the second frame. 7:45 and ticking to play in the second. We're back to 5-on-5 full strength. Penalty soon to be waved off the board. It will not count regardless. Downey off the draw to the middle to Crispino. Crispino out for Loma, but he couldn't bring it in. Plays it off the boards. Loma contested with Sean Quinn right in the area as well. Quinn to the middle, hoping for Crispino, but didn't get his wish. Posadi picks it off. To Lindsay, a shot. Save Matt Kuhn. Rebound Posadi, but he lost it in a spin move attempt. It's picked up off the floor by Brady Hawk. Hawk, Downey on a hop. Saved by Beal. It's loose in the crease. Swatted at, almost an own goal by the Storm. And one of the Storm players is down. He took a shot on the floor. That was friendly fire. As Bozak maybe delivered an inadvertent hit. And now the officials will have a conference at about quarter floor. Does not appear anything will come of it. And we should stay 5-on-5 and will. 6:17 to play in the second. 7-6 Storm, a chance to add to it. Ryan Cook in the near circle. Cook a shot. Save Matt Kuhn. Rebound loose on the outskirts of the crease. Still fought for. Cook will end up with it. Gives to Posadi, who makes a one-handed stick grab. And now tied up was Ryan Cook. It's Caden Hawk with some good defensive pressure on him. Cook, with a pass that will go off a pillar somewhere behind the Black Storm bench. Out of play, nonetheless. Storm ball the other way with Drew Brady. Caden Hawk gives to Stainer. Stainer, a wayward pass, maybe just a little bit outside of where he wanted it to go. Portnoy get it on it, though. Portnoy looking for Posadi and sent wide. Rebound played off the boards. Malesio had a chance at it, and a violation goes against the Outlaws. Malesio disagrees, and so does Joe Stainer, but both will sub off. And timeout called by the Storm. 7-6 to play, and with 7-6 the score with 5:16 to play in the second. And should be an action-packed 20 minutes to close this one out. So a quick goaltender change to announce, which we may have missed in the last few minutes. As for the Outlaws, as Kieran Clark has replaced Matt Kuhn in net. Clark doing a solid job at his time and goal. 7-6 lead for the Storm, picked off. Back the other way, Krzyzewski. One on, absolutely nobody, and it's won by Beal. Blake Beal keeps the ball out of the net, and it stays a 1-goal Storm lead. Can the offense answer? They can! Sergio Posadi on the other end of the floor gets his hat trick and puts the Storm up by 2. It's 8-6. Back-to-back goals for Sergio Posadi. And it's now 8-6 Storm with 4:42 to play in the second. Again, if history repeats itself for a third time today, there should be one more Storm goal, followed by 3 more Outlaw goals, all in that order and in a row. So we'll see what happens. Lindsay wants his chance at getting another one. Shot was sent wide. Ball deflected off the Outlaw bench, and it's back to Outlaw possession. Downey across the middle of the floor. Downey to Malesio. Malesio around the blue line. Loma shot deflected and sent out of play by Beal. Another nice save by the scoring goaltender, who's been excellent over the last 6 minutes of game action, keeping the game at now a 2-goal lead for the Storm. McLaughlin a shot attempt who's wide of the net. Got his own rebound, send it back out to Cook. Cook to Nick Fox. Through the defense, and a shot turned away. It's still loose and knocked in. Goal for the Storm, pardon me. And it's Lindsay getting his second. As James Lindsay picks up a loose change in front of the net. It's now 9-6. So far, ladies and gentlemen, it has been history repeating itself. It's now 9-6. Can the Outlaws come back and tie it from 3 goals down as they've done twice in this game already? Nick Fox behind the backhand pass to Ryan Cook, but no shot came of it. Another shot, saved Clark. Rebound knocked away. And almost getting there in time was Colin Bozak. Another chance is off the iron. Behind Clark. George Downey will scoop it up. 1-on-2 disadvantage. Downey doesn't think much of it. He's by his man. The shot is off the pad of Beal. Rebound out to Portnoy. To Malesio in front. Diving attempt. Turned away. Is loose in the outskirts of the crease. And pounced on by the Storm. 2:15 to play in the second. Quinn has Saunders in front of him. Sends him out to the right. Quinn. Cook. Between the blue line and the nearer circle. Cook. Looking for Fox. It's off his stick. Back to Cook. Shot clock to 8. Cook between the circles. Fires one high and looking for Fox. Fox still got there. A shot wide of Clark. Fox wanted a call and maybe had a point there as he was tied up. No whistle sounds though. Storm ball at the top again. At a fresh 30 seconds. Posadi to Lindsay. Lindsay to Jackson. Jackson around the middle of the floor looking for Lindsay. Off his stick. And Brady Hawk fighting for it. It's brother Caden who picks it up. Caden Hawk to the middle. Krzyzewski off his stick. And taken away by Scott Jackson with under 90 seconds to play in the second period. Jackson to Posadi. Calls to slow down the pace as Posadi just across the floor in time. Shot clock halfway expired. Posadi chatting with the bench, coming up with the game plan. Has four other men in front of him. Shot clock to 8. Posadi sends one wide into the corner. Krzyzewski up the floor. Here comes the Crispino. The Crispino shot, and it was initially saved, but the backspin cost Beal. De Crispino helped by a bounce, and it's now 9-7 as De Crispino gets his first goal of the game. Timeout called by the Outlaw bench. 9-7 to score. Clock still running 24, and it will stop there. 24.4 seconds to play in the second. 9-7 lead for the Storm. Seven seconds will be added to the clock here. 31.4 is where the clock will begin to run. Storm fighting for possession. clock running as the Outlaws have it up the other way. Partisan in the near circle. Less than a second difference between shot clock and game clock. Partisan knocked down. Stainer has it. Shot clock to 17 and 16. Stainer around the blue line. Stainer, Portnoy off the pad to Beal. Sent wide. Shot clock disabled. Stainer on the blue line. Stainer out for Portnoy and sent high and wide into the Outlaw bench. Clock will run, and that will be it for the second period. We're through 30 minutes at Rizzo Rink. It's a 9-7 lead for the Black Storm with 15 more to go. Final 15 minutes of play here from Rizzo Rink on Monday night. 9-7 lead for the Storm. Opening draw in this final frame won by the Outlaws. Portnoy to Downey in the main circle. Downey has Malesio subbing on behind him. A one-hop pass to Malesio. Malesio for Portnoy, couldn't quite get there. Stainer tracking it down. He'll shuffle it forward from Malesio. Malesio lost it. One-on-one. James Lindsay the other way, slowing the pace. Lindsay tried to get by his man. He could not. And a great defense played by Evan Swiker. The Crispino the other way. Shot, save. Off the iron. And off to the way by Scott Jackson. Blake Beal remains in net for the Storm. Delayed call going against the Storm. The Outlaws will have 6-on-5. Loma subs on for the team in blue and black. Downey. Malesio inside the blue line. Shot. Saved by Beal. Was stuck on his leg pad for a brief moment. Now will end the brief 6-on-5 in the delayed call. Kieran Clark remains in net for the Outlaws, and he will retreat back to that spot. We'll see what the call is. So the second time today we've seen the top of the stick break off. A rare occurrence. Lightning must have struck twice somewhere in Philadelphia. 2-minute bench minor for a legal sub against the Storm. 5-on-4 for the Outlaws over the next minute 50. Downey a shot. Save Beal, maybe not. It rattled in and out, and it was just barely kept out. So it's initial save by Beal and the recovery by the Storm defense. Nick Fox has it between the blue line and the main circle. Ryan Cook in front of him, but now taken away as an option. Fox will drain some clock. It's shot clock to 8 to 7, continuing to tick. Nick Fox, what's his move? In the far circle, shot clock to 2. Gets a shot attempt. It's wide of the net. That'll be outlaw ball. Further on the offensive zone than normal. Portnoy at the base of the Storm bench. So Loma. Stainer at the top. Portnoy. And spotted that, trying to fight one on net. But as hard as Inu couldn't get it to fall. Sean Quinn tracking it down. Quinn looking for help. Goes to the middle. He has Nick Fox. Fox. Again around the main circle. Fox tripped up, taken down, and delayed call. And now whistled against the Outlaws. Maybe not against the Outlaws after Nick Fox's reaction to the news. Clock will stop with 16 seconds to play on the 5-on-4. And it appears Nick Fox is being subbed off. Holding the stick will be the reason for the attainment of Nick Fox. Five-on-3 for the next few moments. Shot sent wide. Loma trying to bring it in. 8 seconds, 7 to play on the 5-on-3. Russo, 1-on-none, streaking in. Shot is saved. And Kieran Clark with a push of Russo. Directed us to not continue that push by his teammates. A smart call. 5-on-3 is now over. 5-on-4 for the next 91 seconds. Will Maine will chase it down on the near side. 11-10 to play in the third. Downey has it around the blue line. Downey winds and fires. Shot high at Beal. Rebound off the board. Stainer looking for it. Stainer couldn't bring it in. Hard is in fighting for it. And a shot clock violation against the Outlaws. 1:09 to play on that man up. If the Storm can kill back-to-back man downs, that would be a massive momentum shift their way for a team that already has a 2-goal lead. Posadi around the blue line. Far corner of the blue line. Shot clock to 14 to 13. Posadi around the back of the net. Shot clock to 7. Posadi nowhere to help. And shot clock violation against the Storm. Here comes Krzyzewski the other way. Krzyzewski to Crispino. Looking for Malesio. Lost the ball. And now a chance for the Storm to kill the remainder of their man down. Sean Quinn around the blue line. Gives to Lindsay. Lindsay. Around the corner. Diving in. James Lindsay. And waiting for the official signal. It appears he scored. A hand is up. And we have a penalty issued. We'll see what the final ruling is. So a good goal. James Lindsay will put it in the back of the net. It's now 10-7 Storm. And now here's another penalty will be issued. This one directed toward the Outlaw bench. So penalties will now cancel out. Running clock with a 4-on-4. It'll be 10-7 Storm. 9 to play in the third, so still time for the Outlaws, and they need to get going fast. Good contest off the face-off. Mayen will win the draw for the Outlaws. Mayen by the midline. Has Portnoy and gives to him. Portnoy between the circles and the blue line. Has Malesio running right in front of him. Portnoy keeps it himself. Driving in. Portnoy to the net, and he scores. Dylan Portnoy with his second goal of the day. His first since the opening seconds of the second period, and it's now 10-8. And will remain 4-on-4. Both teams now with a 4-on-4 goal today. Portnoy just then for the Outlaws, and Nick Fox had a 4-on-4 in the dying seconds of the first period. That part of a 4-goal frame for him. He has not added on a fifth just yet. Diving attempt in front of the net by the Outlaws, but it's turned away. Might have been a crease violation as well, but not called. Quinn the other way. Quinn thought about it and thought better of it. Underhand shot now by Clark, and Kieran Clark with a shoulder pad save a second time. Cook up the floor to Russo by the main circle. Now in the near one. Russo looking for Nick Fox, and he's ushered out to the corner. Fox spins by his man, looking for space. 2 men on him. Fox drips and gives to Quinn. I meant to say drops. Nothing's dripping besides sweat at the moment. And Hawk the other way. This one's Brady Hawk. Brady gave to Kate Hawk. The Hawk brothers are winding up with the ball in Stainer's hands. 6:47 to play. A 2-goal deficit for the Outlaws. Still time. Loma between the circles. Loma driven down by McLaughlin. Lost the ball. McLaughlin's back on it for the Storm. McLaughlin up the floor, trying to hit his man, Drew Brady. He does. Brady thought about a pass, and he's sent into the corner. Stumbling back. Pass to the middle. Russo is knocked down. Downey fighting for it. Now Downey has it all the way down the floor. Stainer to the middle. Stainer in front. Shot. Hart is in. Couldn't get it in. It's off the iron. Brandon Hardison robbed again. And a timeout called by the Storm. 6:05 to play in the third. 10-8 lead for the Black Storm. Andrew Sloan back in net. It'll be Sloan versus Clark to determine the winner of this one, unless the goaltender change is to come about. Clock running, just under 6 minutes to play in this third period. 5:55 to go in this third. And then this is where we'll stop for the moment. Lindsay to resume possession with it. 10-8 lead for the Storm. Lindsay around the main circle. John Saunders for the shot clock halfway expired. Saunders looking for Lindsay, and it's played off the boards right to him. Lindsay. Violation against him, maybe Saunders instead on the pick. It's Rzuski for the Outlaws taking it away. Still plenty of time for the Outlaws to make up a 2-goal deficit. Malesio a shot sent wide, and a one-hand grab by Saunders to bring in the rebound. Sergio Posadi. Posadi to Lindsay. Lindsay driving in. Lindsay dives, turned away, and he stepped in the crease as well. Kieran Clark wants a call. Didn't get one. The shot waved off regardless, though. Downey in the main circle. Directing traffic. Downey gives to Hardison. Hardison to the middle. Looking for Downey. Lost it. Loma had a chance at it, and Loma couldn't bring it in either. Nick Fox the other way. One-on-one with Hardison. Fox shot saved by Kieran Clark again. I hesitated for a moment. Stainer back the other way. Stainer, Loma in front, turned away by Sloan. The rebound will bounce on top of the scorer's table and go out of play. Last touch by the Storm and Sloan. It will stay with the Outlaws. Loma, Downey a shot. One hop off the pad of Sloan. And it's back to Black Storm possession at 10-8. Russo bounces off the boards, taking a hit. Russo, fast break again. Shot, they score. Eric Russo makes it a 3-goal lead. He wins the 1-on-none against Clark. And with 3:46 to play, it's 11-8 Storm. Their elusive first goal of the third period might wind up being the dagger. 11-8 to score, 3:20 to play in the third. The Outlaws will have a chance, but they need to get a goal in fast. Dylan Poole in the main circle. Poole, Portnoy. A piece of equipment is over by the Storm bench. Portnoy the pass directly to it. Now Downey has it. Downey, Hardison at the man on him. Malesio pushes the man forward. Hardison in trouble. Fires a pass backward. Swiker chasing it down. He won't get there in time. Whistle sounds for the shot clock violation against the Outlaws. And with 2:44, the Storm will think about killing some clock. Lasati driving in. Shot sent wide of Clark. Rebound is off the top of the wall. Out of play. Here come the other way. The Outlaws. Hardison and Downey next to him. Hardison. Downey taking a shot. Downey diving in the crease. Turned away by Sloan. Or by Beal, pardon me, who's now back in the game. Scott Jackson the other way for the Storm. Jackson to Lindsay. In the main circle. Lindsay to McLaughlin. McLaughlin winds and fires, takes 2 steps. Shot saved by Clark. Loosened the crease and pounced on by the Outlaw goaltender. And timeout called by the Outlaws with 1:51 on the game clock. The Outlaws will need a rally if they are to come back and win this one. The Storm defense needs to keep doing what they've been doing for most of this game. It's an 11-8 lead for the Storm with 1:51 on the game clock. A 1:51 to play in the third. 11-8 lead for the Storm. Last chance for the Outlaws to get going. They need to capitalize on this possession to have a chance. Hardison taking his time across the middle of the floor. Gives to Stainer. Stainer, a pass in deep. It's sent wide. Saunders has a chance at it. He won't get there. Knocked down by Downey. Nick Fox the other way. Fox put the game away and it's knocked away by Kieran Clark. Russo is back on it. And Russo, if he can hold the ball, will likely put it away. Russo killing the clock. 1:15 and ticking. Stainer trying to get around Russo. He cannot. Behind the back look. Russo to Cook. Cook can't get there. Shot clock dying down. Cook in the corner. Still fighting for it. Shot clock to 3-2. And the violation against the Storm. Final minute of play. De Crispino up to 4. Stainer has it by the capital sign. Stainer to Downey. 47 seconds and ticking. Downey. Molesky.